Start off giving blessing, honor, glory, and power be to him that sits upon the throne and to the Lamb forever and ever. All praises to the Most High. Today, we're going to be doing things a little differently due to the fact that the computer is down, but we're still going to get this word in. Open discussion, discussing Christ, checking out his instructions for the times that we're in today. See, what it is the reason why I had to make this video is because I'm noticing that there is like a, let's say, an agency of distraction exists amongst the awakening. Real distracting. You see like in the news, the only thing that they highlight is like one thing. Right now, we're at the time, before the war with Russia and Ukraine, it was just talking just about vaccination, how good the vaccination is, how many people are being vaccinated, who's not being vaccinated, vaccination this, vaccination that, but they were highlighting those certain things to distract you from what's really going on in the rest of the world, on how the rest of the world is going through record-breaking catastrophes on darn near every level and on every continent but the United States. And then people get tied up into the hype, or they'll end up becoming desensitized and docile to to the fact that, I'm just gonna put it to you like this, that the world is ending. Not saying that the planet is going anywhere. No, that's not what the Bible means, and that's not what I mean when I'm talking about the world ending. We're talking about this construct that exists. It has an end. And we're actually the generation that's going to see it. We're actually the generation that's watching it fall right before our eyes. But a lot of people don't even realize it, because one of the things is it's distractions. We're getting a lot of distractions. The stuff that's on your telephone, you know what I mean? That's a distraction. You know what I mean? Well, if you got non-biblical content, if you operating with non-biblical and non-educational content, you're going to be having brush-ins with distracting content, negative content at the most, but at the least it'll be distracting. Another one of the things that you see a lot of our people, they're being distracted with, is like denominations and all these new groups that came up after Christ. After Christ has came to the children of Israel and woke us up, shed his mercy upon us, woke us up, got us on a whole new page, operating as new creatures. And that's supposed to be a good deal, for everybody. But lo and behold, we got people that is being offered some alternative. Shalom, A.R. Mackey. Shalom. They are being offered some kind of alternative, you know what I mean? And that those alternatives are honestly, man, them things are made by they made by the devil. They actually is made by Satan. Satan is the one that's coming up with these institutions like Aboriginals and Moors and um what's this other shit that exists? Oh yeah, Pan-Africanism. You know what I mean? Whether it's just the study of just claiming just to being just basically just African or whatever, or you want to call yourself an Egyptian, all that. These are all things, and you know they all kind of sprung up at the exact same time. Also, around the time when the Israelite the Israelite thing was being utilized on social media platforms, you start seeing all these other things popping up. Well, Christ told us about this, man. He literally let us know, man. We're gonna get that scripture, man. This is the open discussion, man. Right here. Let's go to the script, man. It's Matthew chapter 13. And he says, matter of fact, we'll start at 13 and 1. He said, the same day went Yahushai out of the house and sat by the seaside, and much people resorted unto him. So greatly that he went and sat in a ship, and all the people stood on the shore. And he spake many things to them in similitude, saying, behold, the sower went forth to sow. Shalom, Akmalat. Oh, wait, hold on. Before I finish reading, okay, cool. I figured out how to let brother Akmalat come on.
Shalom.
Shalom, Akmalat.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, man. Yeah, I don't have no beats or nothing in the background or nothing, man.
Oh,
So
yeah,
there's nothing I can really do about that. I'm just gonna see if I can try to get something going. You know what I'm saying? But
Matthew what?
huh?
Matthew.
Yeah, we're at Matthew 13. I'm reading out of the Matthew's Bible,
Okay.
so I wouldn't be able to tell you what verse. I believe that we are on verse 2. We can just start from the top though.
All right.
So you want to get this?
Yeah, I can get it.
All right.
Let me see. You know how to share the screen?
I think I'm pretty sure that you can is it up there?
Nope.
Did you try to share it?
Yeah.
Hold on. Um Okay, cool. All right.
All right.
My bad, y'all. I'm just trying to figure out how to operate this.
All right. It says right there, Matthew 13 and 1. The same day when went Yahushua out of the house and sat by the seaside, and great multitudes were gathered together unto him. Excuse me. So that he went up into a ship and sat, and the whole multitude stood on the shore. Excuse me, man, my bad. And he spake many things unto them in parables, saying, behold, a sower went forth to sow. And when he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them up.
And the fowls came and devoured it up.
Some fell upon stony places, where there had not much earth, and forthwith they sprung up, because they had no deepness of earth.
All
And
right.
when the sun was up, they were scorched, and because they had no root, they withered away.
Okay, so
And,
just keep in mind what Christ is saying right here, everybody.
and some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up and choked them. But others fell into good ground and brought forth fruit, some 100-fold, some 60-fold, some 30-fold. Who has ears to hear, let him hear. Let him hear.
So so Christ has now gave his people a parable, all right, and this parable was something for you to visualize. You know what I mean? That's why I was saying, I was like, keep in mind what he's saying, because these are like real um these are real summed up details. It sums up our experiences and what we're going through right now, man. Watch. So his disciples, they know that he's saying something heavy. They know that he's speaking, you know what I mean, deeply, but it's going to have to be expounded. So we at 10. What does it say?
It says, and the disciples came and said unto him, why speakest thou unto them in parables?
Because he knows
He,
that he's being deep. You know what I'm saying? That was some deep stuff right there.
he answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given.
So right there, boom. There is, he spoke that deep because shalom, man, Hebrew treasure. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
He got real deep with them, man, because some of this is not for everybody, as Christianity has taught. Christianity makes you think that anybody that ever picked up this book and opened it up is going to know it. But that is
Bring it out.
that's huh?
Bring it out.
That's completely contrary to the scripts. Even when we see in the book of Daniel, Daniel wasn't even clear on some of the things that he was from the message that he was getting from the message that he was receiving from the angel.
Khan.
He wasn't even clear on it, and he was like, man, I don't even understand. He's like, and how long is going to happen? He was actually talking about this veil that the people has, this inability to be able to understand the scriptures. And the angel told him, he said, it's going to be until the end of the times. Until the end days is when this covering, this blindness, this misinterpretation or non-understanding of the scripts is going to be on the people. So when we see Christianity, they saying, well, we all know this and we know that, and this is the truth, and this and that and this, saying in the story. That's not the case. Because this wasn't supposed to be figured out until the end times, and even at the time of Christ, it wasn't figured out. So that's one of the things that we're seeing too. And today now, we'll see that a lot of the people, they, even though no matter how hard you try to explain the truth to them or offer them to take hold of that invitation that bid into the marriage, that bid into the great supper, they receive they reject and refuse that invitation. And you're like,
Bring it out.
and you wonder why. And you be like, what is it? Is it do I need to, do I need to come at them in a different angle? And it's like, nah, man. If you follow what Christ is letting us know, Christ lets you know, like, man, you know, it's not really meant for everybody at any moment or at every moment. That explains a lot of people's rejection and misunderstanding and all these things like that. So reading on, we're going to get down to the details of this parable, the busting down of it. So where we at? We at 12?
Yeah, 12. It says, for whosoever hath, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance.
All right. So whoever has shall be given more abundantly. Whoever has these laws, statutes, and commandments,
Con.
The whole book is all comes down to whoever has these laws, statutes, and commandments in practice, memorizing in practice, that's going to be the one that receives. That
Yep. Receives
one.
those mysteries.
That's right. You see, that's why you see even in Psalms 111 and 10. Psalms 111 and 10 says, a good understanding has all they that do his commandments.
Con.
So reading on.
For whosoever has not, for him shall be taken away, even that he has.
That's right. You know, his life, he loses his life. He loses the benefit of those blessings, even if you keep 3 of the commandments, but you break the rest of the 7. You know, those 3 ain't going to save you.
Con.
Them 7 is going to require an immediate punishment or a just punishment. If you don't get your act right, you're going to receive that punishment.
That's right. Therefore, I spake to them in parables, because they, seeing not, and hearing, they hear not, neither do they understand.
Right.
And it, you are,
Keep going. Keep going.
and in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which said, by hearing you shall hear, and shall not understand, and seeing you shall see, and shall not perceive.
You see, and we're still in them times. Our people is still under that effect. Still to this day. At the time of Christ, from the time of Esaias or Isaiah, backtracking all the way up into today.
Con.
Our people is under this spell, under this trance.
Con.
It's like a trance-like state these people is in. God has placed our people in a state of docileness, you know,
Con.
to where they don't no matter how hard for some people, not saying everybody, but at an alarming amount of our people, you know, it just doesn't click. You can tell by the responses. You're like, this, it ain't adding up. What's going on? You're like, oh, that's these scriptures we're still in. We're still in this. So knowing that our people is in this, all right?
Con.
Knowing that our people is in this, they're easy to be still taken advantage of if you know that our people is up under this trance. And Satan knows that.
Con.
They know our people is under a trance. This is the best time to fill our people up with a bunch of false doctrines, false teachings, false identities. So where we at?
15.
All right.
For this people's heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes they have closed, lest at any time they should see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart, and should be converted, and I should heal them. Man, that was deep. That was real deep.
Yeah, that's heavy, man.
Yeah, you know what I mean. The heart wax gross, man, is the lack of love for the scriptures, man. And, you know what I mean. And the ears are dull of hearing, man. It's like people that don't want to hear what the word when the word is coming out, and their eyes they have closed is them not wanting to even read.
That's right. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
It's like turns us into. It sounds like he's describing that Jeshurun run when you go to Deuteronomy 32. Talking about how Jeshurun, talking the nickname, the surname for Israel when we have waxing fat.
Yep.
And then it becomes rebellious and kick, rejectful.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So they put a spell under them for a certain determined amount of time. You see this now. You see that? He said up at 15. Can you start at 15 one more time?
For this people's heart is wax gross, and their ears are dull of hearing. in
So
their
action placed upon these people. My bad. Keep going.
in their eyes they have closed.
And here's the reason behind it.
Least at any time they should see with their eyes and hear with their ears and should understand with their heart and should be converted, and I should heal them.
That's that 400 years. That explains the 400 years of us not knowing anything is because of that dullness that we've had. But that foggy mind hasn't cleared up yet. We're still in it. A lot of our people are still pretty much cloudy. They haven't woken all the way up.
Con,
They call themselves, the conscious community. Our people today. That's a phrase that you hear starting to pick up a lot more. The conscious community. I'm conscious, but they're actually just dreaming. They're not actually all the way woke,
con,
and that's because that healing. When we know about this healing, it's not actually talking about medicinally. It's
con,
talking about nationally, on a nation on a nation scale, as in all these things that makes you autonomous. But we got some people like, look, I'll say it like this: like when you preach the doctrine, like, hey, we need to go. Jerusalem is our homeland. All right, you're like that Jerusalem. You're like, where? Tel Aviv and all that. You're like, really? You're like, oh yeah. You're like, yeah. Some people, they'll just get up and go. Just get up and move to the Middle East.
con.
And when they get to the Middle East, that's not their kingdom.
Facts.
And you be like, and you thinking to yourself, like, why did God let that happen? Or what happened? You're like, oh, because it wasn't the truth hasn't actually came all the way out the way that it needs to be. Still, we still got a lot of doctrines that we're still tangling with. We got a lot of things that we're still, we got a lot of things that needs to be ironed out. We got new doctrines arising also that is starting to turn our people into other directions, and they need to be cleared up. That's why if you tell somebody something and they don't get it, it's not really always in every time a bad thing. Some of the times it's a safety mechanism, because some of these people aren't actually mentally ready to go. Shalom out there, James Daz.
Shalom, Shabbat Shalom.
So a lot of people is not really ready for that. You feel me?
Con.
So at 16, let's get it on.
But blessed are your eyes,
Blessed
for
are you
they see,
because you do see.
and for your ears, for they hear.
Because that's right there. That's not something that you should be taking lightly. This is something that is profound. We covered it in other lessons that in the scriptures it says that that's a gift
Con.
in you. That's actually a gift. So if a lot of people out there they say, "Well, I don't have any special talents," you like, if you believe in God and you keep those commandments and you actually fear God as it's been subscribed. Oh no, you got way more of a gift than somebody that can, play a guitar,
Con.
strum some keys around on the piano. That's cool and all, but it ain't nothing to be compared to you actually believing in God and keeping them commandments.
Kahala haba.
Kahala. That's the real gift. That's a real talent.
All praises to the Father.
That makes you the prodigy. All right. Where were we at?
17. For verily I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which you see, and have not seen them,
Many
And
prophets have desired to see these things, including Daniel.
Khan,
We get this. We actually can go back now, look at the book of Daniel, and break it down historically.
Khan,
The same thing that Daniel was like drawing up just a big question mark about, like, what the, like, man, I just don't get it. Break that down. You know what I mean?
Khan,
And Daniel was a very wise man, gifted by the Most High God,
Khan,
and blessed, but he still didn't see what we see today. We had a lot of people in the past, even some of the prophets that we don't even recognize as prophets. Like we had a lot of brothers, that fought, stood up for so-called black men, women and children.
Khan,
You know what I mean? A lot of these brothers went out in some real, bad ways. You know what I'm saying? Some of these brothers got assassinated, and some of these people, got set up and framed and locked up and buried
Khan,
and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? All these things like that. You know. But these were some brothers that, if we was in our kingdom and them brothers existed, they would have been some prominent figures in Israel.
Khan.
So, but they didn't get to see what we see, man. They don't see the scriptures then, and how they opened up, and how God has uplifted that veil in order for us to actually see clearly.
Khan.
So when we see these other people and they're like, oh man, you know what I mean? Y'all brothers is y'all can do what y'all want to do. We're gonna just do this, or I still want to stay as this. It's a real shame. It's a real shame, because we benefiting from it. And them people right there, man, they missing out big time, man.
That's right.
That's why he says, blessed are your eyes because you can see these things, and blessed are you for your ears because you can hear them things, man, and perceive them. All right, where we at?
No, I'm gonna restart the 17. For verily I say unto you that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which you see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which you hear, and have not heard them. Hear you therefore the parable of the sower.
All right, you're gonna break it down.
When anyone hears the word of the kingdom and understands it not, then comes the wicked one and catch away that which was sown in his heart.
See, and that right there, that's the seed that is sown by the wayside. That's what he says. Seed which was sown by the wayside. And that's what's going on. A lot of the cases, when we see the stuff online and you see and people interject, or when you're actually dealing with people face to face and somebody comes through, you know what I'm saying, whether it might be they mamas or they spouse or they homeboy or homegirl, whoever they sitting with, and they'll say something to offset that word that you just now said, or how that person was listening, and then they pull them away like, come on, man, let's roll. That is Satan.
Khan.
That's an evil person. That's a spirit that has overtook that person at that time and led them away from the truth. Because they're listening, but they're not really understanding, because if they really understood, they would reject that offset. They'll be like, hold on.
Khan. But there's no root in them. They have no root in the word. So I mean, when the devil comes through, they'll be easily taken away.
Khan. That's right. Exactly. Because it fell on a stony ground.
Khan.
No root system can develop.
This is he which received seed by the wayside. But he that received the seed into stony places, the same is he that hears the word, and anon with joy receives it.
Or immediately with joy receives it.
Yet has he not root in himself, but during for a while.
He has no roots in himself. And In other words, he ain't doing none of this walk without his with any of his own initiatives. He's like the way you go to church. You see how you go to church and you see people. See, that's another thing that people utilize Israelite guys for. They'll say, okay, he knows the truth. They'll understand. They'll identify somebody that they'll say to themselves, I'll follow after. I'm okay with, you know what I'm saying, his teaching and his leadership. You know, and then they will solely rely off of only him. Even if the doctrine starts sounding bugged out, even if it's in contrary to even your plain eyes. When you're looking right at it, you're like, wait a minute, I don't know. It doesn't add up to the scripts. But I guess I will just rely off of Pastor Whoop-de Whoop or Israelite brother named Whoop-de Whoop or whatever, you know what I'm saying? They'll rely on that.
Con.
And they don't have no studies within themselves though. So
Con.
so the only time that they would actually get into the word is like what? Every Saturday?
Con.
And that person, you know what I'm saying? They can keep up with that for a while. But you would notice after about a year or two, maybe 3 years down the road, that person won't be an Israelite anymore.
Con.
They'll say stuff like, "Yeah, I used to do that stuff," or "Yeah, I used to roll with a group of guys like that and this and that," or like, "Oh yeah, man, I've been down that road, man, and I'm in and you're like, what happened though? Why did you just quit on the Most High like that? How could you have quitted on the Most High that easily? Well, he didn't have no root in himself.
Con.
He wasn't actually leaning off his own support system. He didn't actually establish his own support system. Because that's what roots are for.
Con.
A root system for a plant is to not only help it feed, but to keep it situated. Keep it,
He wasn't getting fed, man. Come
you know,
on now. He
it
ain't situated.
keeps you situated and fed. That's what the root system for a plant is for.
Con.
Right. Oh, what's up, B Brown? Shalom, man.
Shalom, Ak. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, man. We ain't seen you in a while, man. Hey, man, that's crazy, man.
Ak y'all soft.
The Ak Yawasop, the congregation has been asking about you, man. Like, what happened to B Brown just last night? Like, where's B?
Con.
Like, I ain't seen him. I ain't heard from B Brown in a while. So, man, it's a blessing to see you back, man.
Con.
Yes, he says to depart. To understand is to depart from evil. Job 28 and 28.
Con.
I would.
Con.
I can't put it on the screen because I don't have my computer. I'm operating on the telephone, everybody. So, my apologies for all the other stuff that I usually come with, sounds in the background and all that, and the screens and the slides and all that. But I'll be getting my computer fixed soon enough, and we'll get back to where we were. But until then, we're just gonna just do some reading for the Sabbath.
Con.
So that root system, which is designed to keep you fed and stationary. You know what I mean? Like it's
That's right.
saying we're supposed to stand firm on the word. You know what I'm saying? Stand on dang, I don't want to mess the words up, but just to, I know y'all know what I'm talking about when it lets us know that we're not supposed to go from the right or to the left. We're supposed to stay straight. You know what I mean? Follow after the Most High God. Stay firm with that. That's a plant system that does the same thing, man. It stays firm and it feeds you. Well, if you don't do those things yourself, stay firm. And if you don't feed yourself, you're going to fall off.
Con.
We have to meditate on this every day. But see, that's why Christ let us know about these brothers that ends up falling amongst the stony ground. So at 21, what does it say?
Oh, okay. It says, but dureth for a while, for when tribulation or persecution arise because of the word, by and by is he offended.
So persecution and tribulation arises because of the word.
Con.
So somebody gonna say, "Hey, I got a Christmas party over here," and he's and now that's saying something that he got to stand against, and he actually really wants to do the Christmas.
Bring it
It would
out.
be like something like that, you know, or or it'll somebody that really likes pork and they just can't they never really actually made that crossover 100%. They do a little bit of studies here and there on the Sabbath, saying they'll watch a video or something, listening to a sermon or two in there, but they still dabble here and there on some pork and all that.
Bring
And
it out.
you know what I'm saying? And then when they meet somebody that lets them really know that you're gonna have to actually really get that up, they might make a decision that they're not gonna really get that up. They're not ready to do that. Or you got to stop doing drugs.
Yeah.
Or you got to stop chasing women.
Con. They'll come up with something like, my God knows me. I know my God.
Right,
That's
right,
stuff those people start saying, man.
right. All of a sudden now they got the license.
I don't offend nobody. I don't do no harm to no dude. You know what I mean? I love everybody.
Right. You got the
But you
license.
harming yourself.
You got the license to sin. Ain't nothing wrong with you. You a-okay.
Con.
We all can be just like you and just and have eternal bliss. Come on, man. Miss me with that stuff, man. There's a whole lot more to it than just be a good person. Whole lot more to this than just be just a good person.
Con.
They don't know exactly what a good person is. How you gonna be a good person if you don't even know what it is? We don't know what a good person is outside of this book.
That's right.
So he says, so when persecution arises because of the word, by and by he falls. And a lot of people these days too. See, it's sad to say, I don't know if I said it last time, but I'm gonna say it today. The internet has been real dangerous. It's a very, very dangerous mechanism. If it's not utilized, if it doesn't get into the hands of a right person, if the person is not righteous, the internet can be a real bad thing. And I'm saying that because I seen a brother with my own eyes turn completely sinful, and he was an Israelite, and
Con.
I'm talking about he went completely. He's like one of the worst people that you can, what I mean? Like at least you can talk to. You couldn't talk to people worse than this person. And it was all because somebody told him, like, hey man, you're not an Israelite, you're actually a Canaanite. And then he was like, how am I a Canaanite? And then the dude gave him his breakdown on why he believes that no, you're not only are you not an Israelite, you're actually a Canaanite. The dude accepted that and then said, all right, well, from this point on, I'm not an Israelite. And literally went downhill, went crazy.
Con.
I was like, wow. I seen another thing, dudes pointing out mixed breeds in a negative way. Oh, they mixed breed, you guys ain't black. You mixed breeds this and you mixed breeds that. And I don't know about that, but if you all black, yeah, but if you a mixed breed, you something else. And you like,
Man.
and then next thing you know, we seen the mixed breed dude, he dipped.
Yeah, no matter what we showed them. I'm talking we saw a gang of scriptures, man, about mixed breeds, you know what I mean? And that dude, I guess the other, you know what I mean, that other word, you know what I mean, that he heard, man, overpowered, you know what I mean, what we was saying, he was gone.
Right. And yeah, that's true. B Brown, I was going. It was in the back of my head when B Brown just said the only one is good is the Most High, Christ,
Con,
and that's a true 100%. All praises to the Most High because it was in the back of my head, but I was like, okay, you know, I just didn't go there. But yes, that's exactly what I was thinking when I was bringing up that when people are talking about being a good person. And I was like, they don't even know what they talking about. We don't even know what a good person is outside from the Bible.
con,
And we know who's good. Like, what good person? You're like, there's only one that's good, and that's God.
con,
I ain't never seen anybody being called a good person. But you want to be righteous, you're going to have to keep those commandments. And that's the thing that a lot of people, they don't even realize. They think they just want to be a good person. You're like, no, what you want to be is you want to be righteous. The righteous
con.
is what is acceptable by God, not good people. You can't show me the scripts where it says God accepts good people. God is pleased with good people. There's no such thing.
Con,
All right. So we was at 22, right?
con. He also that received seed among the thorns is he that hears the word in the care of this world, in the deceitfulness of riches, choke the word, and he become unfruitful.
And see, and that's another doctrine right there. You know, the last one we just read, they don't have no roots in themselves. That's a doctrine.
Con,
You know, we can see that happening with like aboriginals. You know, a lot of aboriginals and all these other things. Black, Kemet, Pan-African, and Egyptology and all that. You're like, you ain't got no root in yourself.
con.
You don't really know who you really even are. You ain't studying really yourself. You're studying somebody else.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And then you get these brothers right here, the deceitfulness of riches. They'll call themselves Israelites. This is in the Israelite community too, not just them though. But they'll call themselves Israelites, but they're not really worried about instituting or reinstituting, better way of saying it, reinstituting a priestly office in any kind of fashion. Like shit, man, we gotta try something, you know what I mean? They're not interested in none of that. They'll laugh at you if you bring it up.
Con,
Be the same people call themselves an Israelite. But they'll be talking about what we need to do is buy real estate. What we need to do is get some LCCs and some other things, you know what I mean? Whatever they be talking about, all kinds of business strategies and loans and
con,
that. And then you will hear and the moment somebody brings that up, you will hear the conversation make a drastic shift. It'll go from going from inside of the Bible to no longer. I'm talking about instantaneously, like boom, in seconds. It'll go from you're in the Bible to you're no longer in the Bible for the rest of the conversation. The conversation is about how we're gonna make us some money.
con. That's it. That's what they go to.
You know, what's your strategy? This mine's, you know. Let's exchange numbers. I'm gonna call you, you know what I mean, after this, and we're gonna make us some money.
But they become unfruitful. None of that stuff even works out for them.
And none of that stuff yields positive results for themselves, let alone the community as our people. It doesn't,
Con,
even if the idea is community based.
con. Yo, but look at those same people that be, you know what I mean, talking about building together, or you know what I mean, or getting land, they'll be dissing our people. You know what I mean? Our people that still, you know what I mean, destroyed for the lack of knowledge. They'll be dissing them like, man, them ain't my people.
Right. Dissing them.
Yeah.
Yeah, always, Christ, what I'm saying, had to have some instructions about the division of households and shit, man. You coming into the awakening, and people are not really like group minded. They're not thinking in a group effort. They don't have that type of mind frame still. They're still clouded. They're still thinking the same old way, you know what I'm saying? Basically clicking up. Now I'm this over here. So since I'm this over here, I'm against all y'all. Talking about when they be camp banging.
Yeah.
Now we got internet platform banging. And you're like, and then we go into the streets, we got gang banging. We're like, damn, man, we are dividing. We are a dividing people. We don't like, we got to get up out of this whole competing and defeating mentality of only our.
Con,
It's crazy because that competing and defeating thing doesn't actually operate outside of black existence.
especially if we all founded on the same thing. You know what I mean? We all, you know what I mean, teach and know that we got to keep the commandments, but we sitting there divided amongst each other for, you know what I mean, a couple of, you know what I mean, doctrines, man. That right there, man, is contrary, man, to what we doing.
Right. Trying to turn camp people into just like the people to make a smearing campaign on, like we're all okay to just kind of kick them around. Everybody talks about them in a negative way, and I'll be like, damn, man. I'm like, them brothers is I like they putting forth a whole lot more effort into what you guys are actually wanting.
Con,
Like you guys want all these things. You say you want blacks to have, a better economic existence, and you say you want blacks to have, a system of morals, and what I mean, not being crazy and drugged out and all this crazy stuff that we known to be having, when we're fitting the statistics. Well, you guys are still sitting around there brainstorming.
con.
Why these Israelite cats, the ones that you guys are making fun of, they
Is
are
doing what you're brainstorming.
they're operating they're operating a manual, man. They are
Con,
literally they got a manual. And the manual has stood the test of time. If this book was actually invalidatable, if that's a real word, I'm not sure if it is. But if it is invalidatable, it would have been invalidated 1,000 years ago. People have dissected, scoured through this book for hundreds of years in English.
con,
To where if there was any real logical fallacies in this book that justified its exclusion, it would have been then already iron, or it would have been and already laid out. It would have been exposed. So these people, they just need to quit with that BS, man.
con.
Excuse me, I'm going on a little bit of a tangent, but back over here, he says the deceitfulness of riches chokes the word, and so is he made unfruitful. You do these money making schemes that gets in the middle of the awakening, gets in the middle of our walk with God, gets in the middle of our walking after Christ, is a big hindrance. Christ is letting us know that these are all these failed attempts. That's the seeds that falls by the wayside, the seeds that fall amongst the stones, the seeds that fall amongst the thorns. That all translates as failed attempts, man. All these failed attempts is nothing but distractions. You see that? What does the evil man do? What did the evil man do when the person didn't understand the word? What did he do?
Snatch them away.
Came through and snatched away. That's the way what was sown in his heart or sown in his mind. The only way that can be done is through distractions.
Con.
Distracted him, right?
Con.
The other one that didn't have roots in themselves, and then he started getting tested with the word. You know, that's the distraction. Because if I walk in the room and say, "Hey, I'm trying to be down with God. I'm trying to, you know what I mean, let y'all know that we need to keep the commandments because we're the children of God." And then a dude comes through and says, "What year did Joseph die in Egypt? What dynasty was that?" You'd be like, I don't know. That's because he didn't exist. That's persecution.
Con. And tribulation. That's right.
And if the dude is trying to you know what I'm saying, convince a group, and all this happens, and then everybody starts laughing at him, saying he's a quack, he's a religious nut, some Bible thumper. Get out of here. We ain't got time for none of these fairy tales. Stupid. Now, you just now went through it. It's not the worst level of tribulation, but you know, by any means, it was tribulation. You it, and you went through tribulation. And a lot of people, they can't stand that distraction was enough to throw them off. Makes you know they're not so confident in what they were saying.
Con. All because somebody said something about a date.
Right. And then the other one. Oh yeah, man, we need to make us some money. How many times have the conversation translated or morphed from you talking about we need to keep the commandments and we the children of God, and we can, you know, we proven it through what transpired in our history and our experience here, to all right, okay, but now we need to get us some money.
Yeah, man. If they don't talk about, how would they get to that conclusion when the fourth commandment lets you know that you gotta work 6 days? Be like, oh, so y'all must not be working. No, you need to work.
Yeah, just, you know, get you a job.
Right.
You keep them commandments so we can bust out of this system of just dead end jobs.
Con.
You're like, but you know, the end goal is not just having your bills paid. That's why I had somebody on the telephone the other day. I said, man, the end goal is not just having a house, having a dog, and a garden on the side in the suburbs.
Con.
That's what we have been taught over here in Western society, that's the limit. You've reached the max. You got you a 2-3 story house in the suburbs with a, you know, saying 2-acre yard, gardener, manicured green grass and all that stuff. Got you a dog, right?
Yeah.
Got your wife baking cookies in the kitchen. Got your kids playing on the water, playing on a what is that thing? The slip and slide.
Right. Yeah.
Like that's brand new car in the driveway.
Yeah, but this is all in the hands in your enemy's land under your enemy's rules.
Yeah, this is all you being defeated and becoming comfortable in your defeat. But when we're at, when you're reading this book, that's not what it's aiming you to.
That's that Stockholm syndrome.
Right. Exactly. Stockholm syndrome, man. It ain't aiming you towards Stockholm syndrome. It's aiming you towards having a whole royal kingdom.
Con.
If you can bust out of that, out of this, um, what's some people call the Beverly family? The Brady Bunch.
Yeah, the Brady Bunch.
I said yeah, but if you bust out of that Brady Bunch dream that you're chasing, you know what I'm saying? Because they got us trying to strive for the Brady Bunch scene.
Con.
Not realizing that these people that sold you that Brady Bunch image is sitting on thrones, living in palaces. Just over here in the United States, they just call those palaces mansions, estates. But they don't teach you that. That's why we don't. That's why when you sit there and they say, well, we need to make us some money. You might just go get a job. We're not. That's not what we're trying to talk about. This is about a kingdom.
Con.
This is about mansions, property, government, and not this crooked pick you up and shake you for every dime you have, empty out your pocket government. We're talking about righteousness. Equity. So it says, so the deceitfulness of riches choked the word, and so is he made unfruitful. Another distraction. Now, what's this one? What's that? 48? My bad. 23.
23. But he that received seed into the good ground is he that hears the word and understands it, which also bears fruit and brings forth some 100-fold, some 60, some 30.
So it's he that falleth amongst the good ground is he that hears these laws, statutes, and commandments and actually yields benefit results. Starts actually, and we know what the beneficial results would be. It will be actually the instituting of the law, statutes, and commandments.
Con.
The law, statutes, and commandments themselves is designed for equity, benefits, positive results.
That's right.
That's what it's designed for. It's actually designed that way. If you go and read them and listen and just check it out, you'll be like, oh, it's 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 making it to where everything works well. This, if we follow after this, we wouldn't have any choice but to yield positive and beneficial outcomes.
Con.
So he says, another similitude put he forth unto them. What does it say now? We're going to read on.
Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat.
So this is another parable, but he's still using these seeds, all right?
Con.
So we're going to get a little bit of insight on the seeds from the last, but with on this one too. You know what I'm saying? We can double up on the understanding. But what we're both is going to see is Christ has warned us from verse 1 of chapter 13 all the way to verse 23 or 24, I believe 23,
Yep. Yep.
have distractions. You got to start looking for who is distracting. When you hear a word coming out and then you hear an alternative statement, that's a distraction. That's Satan that got inside that person and he's operating through them. Now watch, let's read on.
But while men slept, his enemy came.
While men slept, his enemy came.
And sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also.
And that's a trip because we see that happening today. But let's read on. Watch. We're gonna let the script read, and then we're gonna line it up with today.
So the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in thy field? From whence then hath it tares? He said unto them, An enemy has done this.
He said, didn't you sow good seed in your field? So where did all these tares come from if you sowed this good seed in your field? And he said, what happened?
And he said unto them, An enemy has done this.
In the Matthews, it says, the envious man has done this.
We know that's the devil.
Yeah.
According to was it Wisdom of Solomon?
Right. And who was the first one to be envious of
Esau?
That's Esau. Esau was envious of Jacob. That is the main envious man.
Khan. It says, the servants said unto him, Wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? But he said, No, lest while you gather up the tares, you root up also the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. And in the time of harvest, I will say to the reapers, Gather you together, first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn.
All right. I would go into it, but I want to let Christ actually give his explanation first. So he's going to give his explanation down at 36. Let's go down to 36. So because now at 36, he's going to actually expound on this parable.
Then Yahushua sent the multitude away and went into the house. And his disciples came unto him, saying, Declare unto us the parable of the tares of the field.
So they didn't understand it either. Let's always take note that this is Christ's main road dogs right here. This is his crew. And a lot of the times, Christ would drop a parable and they would have to get some clarification. So don't be, don't be discouraged when you don't, when you don't understand something in the scripts yourself, especially when it comes down to like dark parables or prophecies or something like that, and you don't get the wording or nothing like that. It's not because you're not worthy enough or anything like that. It's because this book has been designed that way. And the best of the best went through the same thing too. So let's get it on.
He answered and said unto them, He that sows the good seed is the Son of Man.
Okay, so he that sows the good seed is the Son of Man. So that'll be the husbandry. All right.
The field is the world.
The field is the world. And when we're talking about the world, we're talking about the government of Israel. We're not talking about every continent, every body on it, and everything in between. That's not what it meant. Watch.
The good seed are the children of the kingdom.
That's what we're talking about. That's what the world is talking about, the kingdom, the government.
Look at these tares. But the tares are the children of the wicked one.
And the tares are the children of the wicked one. So you don't have to be only his nationality to be the children of the wicked one, because we know that the tares and the wicked one aren't the same thing, because the
Con,
plant in this analogy, and the wicked one is actually a man. It called him the envious man,
con,
right?
con,
So when you see these tares, want me to tell you something about the tares and wheat? Tares looks just like wheat when they're growing. Did you know that?
con. Yeah.
A tare plant and a wheat plant, they'll look the exact same all the way up until harvest. That's when you'll know that there's tares amongst the wheat. Just like when we see it right now with us. It's harvest time. It's time for us to actually get our own kingdom. We got willing participants. All praise to the Most High.
Con,
Finally, after a long time running, but we made it to we have a large set of willing participants. It's harvest time. Yet, even though Christ has sold that good seed, what is the good seed? The children of the kingdom.
con.
Willing participants, right? So
The obedient ones.
we got willing participants. We got obedience. And this is all logic too. It's not like these people are, you know what I mean, stone cold crazy and being talked out of their senses. This is logic. That's why he said, that's why he asked him, he said, didn't you sow good seed? He said, if you sow good seed, he said, where's all these, why is there tares now? If this is such, you know what I'm saying, this is such a solution for us, and we know that this is a solution for us, but why, why is there existing such a bona fide solution, but yet we're getting all this pushback? Why is the Aboriginals even catching hold? Why is the Pan-Africans more like somebody's cup of tea? Why is someone just being just African generally? I'm just African. Why is that good enough? Aren't the Israelites dropping a clear message? Sound clear to me.
Con.
Sound clear to me. But yet, lo and behold, you're going to have to question, where's all these alternatives coming from? And why are these alternatives actually being a real distraction? Right?
Con.
He says, and the tares are the children of the wicked, and the enemy that sows them is who?
The devil or the wicked one.
The devil. Read it on.
The harvest is the end of the world.
Because this is ending. The Israelites is here. We don't need
the end of Esau is the beginning of Jacob, man.
That's right. End of Esau and the beginning of Jacob. We don't need this place no more. And he says, now what?
And the reapers are the angels.
And the reapers be the angels. You know what I'm saying? The one that's actually is going to gather, that actually is going to do the real gathering, that's going to gather the people and going to build them all together, is going to be the messengers.
That's right.
It's going to be those brothers that you see with those garments on out there.
Con.
It's going to be the ones that actually takes the message outside of just themselves and spreads it to those around them, whether they hear or forbear. That's a messenger. That's a watchman. That's the angels.
Con.
So the reapers be the angels. Read it on.
As therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be in the end of this world. The Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend.
And that's what we're doing right now, man. We gather out or debunk all these false doctrines, all false doctrines, all distractions, because that's what they're solely relying on. That's what the enemy is still attacking us at. He's attacking us at the level of our awakening.
Con.
Is seeing him sowing these tares amongst the wheat. That translates to your awakening is being altered. Your awakening is being sabotaged. And you better open up your eyes and try to figure out where, what area are you being sabotaged in? I'll tell you what it is. Christ told you where it was. He said, you'll be distracted. You'll have some of y'all is going to be falling into the category of being somebody that just fell amongst the wayside.
Con.
Some of y'all is going to be fitting in the category of you falling among stones. Some of y'all are going to be deceitfully enticed to make that money.
Con. You know what I mean? Fall
You
amongst
know
the
what I'm saying?
thorns.
Right?
Well, yeah, thorns.
Thorns. Yeah, that's them thorns. Falling amongst them thorns. Get that money.
Con.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But guess who is actually solely responsible for these distractions?
The wicked one.
For
The envious one.
the envious man, the devil.
Con.
Actually, a certain person, though, because we know that the devil right here in this verse was called the envious man.
Con.
And I think it's verse 26 or something like that, 27.
Yeah, 26.
Verse 26, he was called an envious man. This envious man at verse what? 40? He's the
Wait, okay. What was it? But while he slept, the enemy came. Or what? 25. It says, while he slept, his enemy came. It says the envious one on yours in the Matthews.
No, it says no. Keep going down. It says his foe came. That while he slept, came his foe, and so tares among the wheat, and went his way.
Oh, okay.
You know
28.
And you look and you see how the white folks, all they did. We say we the Israelites, we God's chosen people. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all gotta make right the wrong of slavery now. We're ready to be good now. And what do? They acted like we didn't say nothing. They acted like comes the word. No.
Yeah.
That's just what they made it appear. What they actually really did is set up the Moorish people, set up some Moorish agents, made their channels blow, put them in the algorithm. Set up the some other distractions like
some aboriginals
and Kemetics and ecologies and all this Pan-African crazy mumbo jumbo.
And you know what they all try to do, Finna Harris?
What?
They all try to talk us into coexisting, man.
Getting
along with everybody, just everybody, no matter what their gods is, no matter what, you know what I mean, they choose to do. If they want to have some graven images and they want to worship them, they can do that. You trying to get our people cursed. Right. What are you doing? Right. These are things that gets us cursed. Allowing people to do this allows us to be cursed by God.
Good catch, Akmalak. Good catch, Akmalak, because that's the truth, man. That all they want you to do is sin, stay sinning, be all inclusionary, and don't leave. That's what all the doctrines is. All the doctrines boils down to that.
Yeah.
Even the Egyptologist is not talking about moving to Egypt.
That's facts.
The people that's talking about Egypt don't talk about moving to Egypt. The dudes that's talking about they're Pan-African don't ever talk about moving to Africa. They actually talk about taking over the business aspect.
Yep. Getting some of the Moorish people talking about getting into the political party.
Taking over the politics. The Abos too now. The Abos is talking about utilizing the politics. Basically, go and panhandle off the government and force them to give you what they give the Native Americans. But the Native Americans is still complaining.
But they said they are the Native Americans.
That's why they want what the Native Americans got. But every time I say, but the Native Americans is still complaining.
Right.
You're asking for what the Native Americans got, and they complaining. So you're not really shooting too far. You know, you're not shooting too high. You're shooting low, man. That's a low shot. What we need to be doing is going into these scripts, because then that'll engage your mind into a whole level of another level of existence, which is becoming royal subjects. I mean, becoming royal rulership. Excuse me. Not royal subjects. I want to be the royal ruling class, not the royal subject. That's what we are over here. We just subject to the royals here, man.
That's right. Bring it out.
Now, and all they doing is teaching us to be content with being subjects to the regal house. I'm cool. We can elevate. Black people can
right.
a higher level of existence. We can exist just like everybody else, if not better. Come on now. Okay. So he said, the harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers be the angels. For even as the tares are gathered and burnt in the fire, so shall it be at the end of this world. What? He says, even as the tares are gathered and burnt in the fire. Fire is adversity.
Bring it out.
It's called the furnace of adversity. I could get the precept. I could fumble around real quick. I'll find it. I know exactly what that's in Sirach, but I wanted to get this message out. For even as the tares are gathered and burnt in the fire, so the doctrine got to be destroyed, man. So shall it be in the end of this world. So we got it. So that explains the reason why you see a lot of people and you see a lot of debates popping up around everywhere, and a lot of people wanting to debate all the time and everything like that. That's because we're ultimately destroying the old world. The old world ain't gonna make it in. I know that after me and Akmalak went over to the Aboriginal Power channel, that we destroyed it. I know that we destroyed it. They had about half the amount of views the very next day, and then the day after that he had to run a stream saying, why is people trying to attack our movement or attack the Aboriginal community or something like that? Like, basically, you know, from what I understood, how it seemed for me, it was like, Akmalak, Battle Axe, why y'all come over here and do that?
Yeah, man, them terrors got to be burnt, man. Them doctrines got to be demolished, man.
Right. We got to get rid of all the distractions, because that's what's holding up. That's what's holding up the process. That's what makes the process 3.5 years.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Them brothers don't need to take it as an attack, man. They need to take it, see that we, you know what I mean, we trying to help our people. We ain't trying to, you know what I mean? When they say that our doctrine is being destroyed, that's their ego. You know what I mean? Because you ain't losing nothing. Because when we asked them, what are you gaining from this? They say nothing. So if somebody takes it away from you, you're not losing nothing. Somebody takes it away from you and give you a royal kingdom, you didn't lose anything. You actually gained a lot.
Except for that money. You know? Because I'm serious, them dudes, they want them views.
Man, for real, yeah. The money gone.
When you come through and you know, nobody starts a channel to be debunked. They're not starting channels. Let me say that again. People are not starting channels to be debunked. The ones that actually opens up the platform and says, jump on here, let's do the open smoke. That's a brother that has become confident in his doctrine. He's confident. And he said, all right, I'm willing to take this to the test. But people aren't saying, and I'm gonna take it to the test, and if I get my stuff debunked, I'm gonna have to change my doctrine. They ain't saying that. They going up on there to teach what they believe they know. And then they have people, you know, they have YouTube paying them for that. Once they become monetized. So when you come through and they become bold enough, you know, saying whatever reason why God, you know, saying God could have put a spirit upon them to make them do that. If you ask me, that's how I think that's how it worked. But however we got to that conclusion, we get to the conclusion that these people, they will throw out the link and say, all right, now run up, and let's see if you can get done up. Yo,
right. You know what I mean? They and then that's where they messed up.
Yeah, and then they mess up because
they don't get people. You know what I mean? They never got people to go against them. They only got people that was actually on their side. You know what I mean? And going with their saying.
Right, asking questions.
Yep, their doctrine was never put to test.
Right. And then it's our job as the messengers, as the angels. But a lot of people, when they see this scripture, they're actually waiting for like angelic beings with, you know, 3 sets of wings to fly around and to do all the biddings that Christ, you know, saying detailed in the scripts. But that's not the case. Not exactly how they thought it would happen. It happens just like what we're saying, and it's happening just like what we see today. A lot of people just don't know what they're seeing when they're seeing. That's why he says these people, they got these eyes to see, and seeing, he's like, they're not going to understand. And hearing, he said, they still won't even perceive. I mean, seeing, they won't perceive, and hearing, they won't understand. I had that back. But yeah, they're not going to understand nor perceive exactly what's going on right in front of their eyes.
That's right.
They're hearing with their own logical ears. They're still, even though they're watching the heavenly battle go down between Satan, the devil, the wicked one, and the angels, and the children of the kingdom, and the world being destroyed and ended and altered and changed. They have no idea what's going on. They just thinking that they just watching some good YouTube arguments. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's not what's going on. We're changing.
Yeah. They ain't seeing because they the children of the dark, man.
Right.
That's what it is, man. They ain't the children of the light.
Right. And they're falling for the distractions.
Yeah.
You know? Got a lot of distractions that they actually is falling for. Whether it's the alternative statements, man, them dudes are stupid. Or, man, them guys is religious quacks. Or, man, the Bible destroyed, they use that book to destroy our people. That's
where was your God in slavery? Like our God, well, first off, our God told us about slavery, and he was right there. You know what I mean? Where's your God telling y'all that our people was gonna go into slavery and be under all these nations? What happened to your God?
Right.
At least our God lets us know why we're in this condition that we in and how to get up out of it.
Right. You know what I'm saying? You know, definitely you have a better idea on how to find a solution to your problem when you know the cause.
Facts.
you don't know the cause of your problems, you're probably going to be sitting around there doing a lot of guessing and useless effort. It's just like a car that has an electrical problem. That's one of the worst problems that your car can have when you have an electrical problem.
Yeah.
And if you don't take it to a real mechanic shop and you just start trying to guess what's wrong, you're going to end up changing all kinds of things.
Yeah, you don't fix the whole car.
You'll fix the whole car and work, and you'll find out it was like a little sensor,
Yeah.
under the transmission that came loose somehow, something like that. Just like something real simple. Just like with us, we got this real big problem. It's like an electrical issue. Just the whole car ain't even working. But the solution is real. Like you find out the cause of the problem. It's not as grand scale as you would think. It's actually simply just right here in this book. Like, what do you mean? You're like, oh yeah, just this one book is the solution to black people. Like, no way. These people are, you know what I mean? They kill each other for fun. They rap about, you know what I'm saying, taking each other's women. I'm not sure if they all do it, but they all listen to it. The women talk about pretty much prostitution.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they do. They talk about just prostituting, tricking men out of their money, leaving. Um, let's see. The list goes on. You're like,
Okay, I'm being drunk.
yeah, and they say no.
Doing drugs. I'm talking about not medicines, drugs,
Yeah,
hard drugs.
substance abuse, chemical dependency.
Yo, hey, man, I'm telling you, man, this is gonna get deep, man. I remember the 42, man. This just happened to us.
Boogie Nation, what up?
Shalom.
Shalom. Maranatha. Nasty the Goon.
Maranatha, man, what's going on?
What's going on with y'all?
It says in you want me to continue?
Yeah, man.
Matthew 13 and 41. And the Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend, and them which do iniquity.
So we're going to all things that offend, and you know what offend is? That's offense. You know? Offense, offend, adversary, come against. We can see that's with all these other denominations and these other categories that exist is designed to do. Not only like Kemetism and Aboriginals and Egyptology, it's even making money. The concept is just like, just get dope. You know what I mean? Or hey, these niggas is crazy. Or you're religious nuts. Or the Bible was used to destroy us, or that's a white man's book. All this stuff is to be in
offense.
He's like, and them which do inequity. Now that right there is another class of people. Those that do inequity.
Opposite of equity.
Opposite of equity. Now that's actually operating in the construct of our actual conscious existence in the Torah. When someone is infringing on your equity when it comes to the scripts, that would have to be someone that is causing you to break the commandments or not keep them. You get what I'm saying? Because we got one that's in offense. They're actually against your whole concept. But then you got another set. These ones are actually operating in the realms that affects your walk.
That's right.
Yeah, it's me. I'm gonna say that's the Old Testament only crews.
Con.
That's the Antichrist clique.
Yeah.
And we got a
Yeah,
lot.
they causing you not to adhere to the prophet that was raised up unto like unto Moses, that Deuteronomy 18 and 18, man.
That's right. That's right.
That's inequity.
Right. Right. Having you going against the good seed.
Con.
You know what I'm saying? Because you see the good seed, the, they're against the concept of the good seed,
Yeah.
which is being the children of the kingdom, following after who? Christ.
Con.
So when you're following after Christ, you're not only are you keeping the commandments, but you're gathering others to do the same.
That's right.
But if you're Old Testament only, you're not.
Yep.
An Old
Facts.
Testament only creates an individual, like it creates individualism.
And they demonize the brothers that's out there preaching the word to the people, the ones that's actually waking up the people and enlightening them who they are. Those are the people that's doing that. Not the Old Testament only that just sitting there not doing it.
Con. That's the truth, man. So when we see those, we know exactly who they is now. That's why they gotta get their doctrines eradicated also. Not because, you know what I'm saying, it's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying, I'm a truth crusader. I'm here to, you know what I'm saying, kick butt on the lie. You're like, no, you know what I'm saying, not really. You know, if you enjoy it, that's cool too. But it's more of, hey, man, this person is holding up our process. He's holding up our these people are actually holding up the progression. If we don't stop them, and if we just sit back and just let them grow, they'll turn into like a super weed. Not strong marijuana. I'm saying a super weed, like one of them weeds that grow out in a vacant lot. They become just monster,
Con.
just gigantic. You know what I'm saying? Like how you ever like
Have you ever grown a garden and not picked out the weeds?
yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like you grew something
You'll see that them weeds gonna tear your garden up, man. You gonna have no garden.
and it's gonna be hard to pull them out.
Yeah. Yeah,
The,
it's strong. They'll overpower the garden.
the longer you let it grow, the harder it will be to grow out. I mean, the harder it will be to pull out.
Con.
And like Christ says, if you rip it up by the roots,
You don't whip out the wheat.
you're gonna rip out the wheat. You know? So it's like you gotta go to these dudes directly,
Con.
you know? Like bump all that intellectual study approach on them. Like, yeah, let me go and teach them about fucking genetics and shit. Like, no, hey man, and these people ain't us. We fit these curses in this book. You gotta prove to me that we don't. And these people
Man, hey, that's another one we done beat up, man. That genetic stuff, man, got smashed because you know what I mean. There's brothers trying to say, yo, you know what I mean. We identify, you know what I mean, the Israelites by their genetics. You be like, well, then how can you tell which tribe is which? Well, we can't tell. Well, you know what I mean. And then we got to how we can tell who Levite is. You know what I mean. Them brothers, man, they had nothing to say because when we asked them, like, what genetics do they go off of to tell who Levite is? They said they didn't have that. So we say, well, you got nothing, and we got something. Which should our people choose? Should our people choose what you're saying, like we don't know who Levite is, or should we choose what the Israelites are saying, like the Levites are the light bearers, the ones that's bringing out these laws, statutes, and commandments, and that's wearing these garments.
Right. Right. And we all know.
According to Scripture.
And we all know how the saying goes. Anything beats a blank.
Facts.
These people is coming at our people with blanks.
Yeah.
Trying to cast shade on the people that walk after Christ. I'm just
trying to show a small degree of ingenuity, man.
Yeah, right. Trying to do this little pathetic attempt. You know what I mean? By casting shade on those that been sent by Christ. And then to turn around and then give you nothing. Have a blank. You say, where's the Levites at? I don't know. You're like, well, according to this verse and this verse and this verse, the Levites will have to be such and such. Nah, I don't believe that. You're like, then what do you believe? I don't believe anything. You're like, do the Levites exist? Yeah. Who are they? Where are they at? I don't know. But it's not these guys that's acting like Levites? Nope. And then that's when you just get, I'm done. I'm like, like, okay, so this person has a veil on him. You know, God doesn't want him to see something.
He got eyes and he sees not, man.
No. And I know, and I know the reason why a lot of the times, because a lot of these people, man, they kind of crazy. Some of these people is unstable. You'll hear them say some wild, and I'm not talking about having doctrine wrong. I'm talking about they'll just say something real radical to where you can just tell you like, man, this dude.
Yeah, like 20% of the Jewish people are real Jews.
Yeah, he's like, it's pretty tripping, man. You know, I heard dudes say that they'll, you know what I mean, rape somebody or something, man. You know what I mean? You're just like, never mind, man. You already know that you don't have to know a lot of stuff because you're crazy still.
Bring it out. Yeah, we're gonna all right. Oh, let's get to that 42, man, because this just happened to us on the Abel channel. It says about the angels, and shall cast them into a fire. So the angels that's gathering these the ones that offend and the ones that do iniquity, they're casting them into the furnace of fire or the furnace of affliction, like Battle Axe was saying. There shall be wailing and gnashing of the teeth. And them dudes was wailing and gnashing of the teeth at us, and all we was doing was talking to him.
That's all. That's
F your God.
That's exactly what happens online.
Yep, F you.
And if you see this, if you actually look, there is no other place that can happen. Because in real life, like right now, today, I can't cast nobody actually in a real furnace of fire. I'll go to jail.
Facts.
So it wasn't literal. But this furnace of fire or this furnace of adversity. Does it, when online, causes a lot of wailing, which is screaming, and gnashing of teeth. Vicious facial expressions and sounds that come out of the mouth. You see it. To gnash at the teeth. That's a term in the Bible. To viciously say something against.
Yep.
So you see this person, you see these people, they be wailing and gnashing of the teeth. But these things must be done because it initiates a final process, which is, can you read on?
Then shall the righteous shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father.
Then, once we destroy all these doctrines, what's going to have to happen? Then our doctrine will stand out. Then our doctrine will have to be accepted.
Facts.
Even the white man will have to acknowledge. But you got to see. Look, let's go to 1 Kings 8:47 real quick.
Bring it out.
We go to 1 Kings 8:47. Watch this, man. He said, "Yet if they turn again unto their hearts in the land where they be in captivity." Well, can you read it? All right.
Yet, if they shall bethink themselves in the land whither they were carried captives,
Okay.
and repent,
Keep going.
and make supplication unto you in the land of them that carried them captives,
So,
saying,
what if we see right there? It says, if they remember themselves. Talking about the majority group, man. We have to come back to who we really, really are. These law, statutes, and commandments, we are the Israelites. We have to do that. Enemy knowing those things would definitely attempt to mess that up. Why? It called him the envious man. It didn't say that he was going to be successful, but it said that he was envious. That was the
that's
reason
right.
why he did it. This is the reason why the white man did it. It's like one of them things, well, since it ain't mine and I got to give it back, I'm going to dog it out real quick, like a rental or something. Somebody that gets a rental, when you're young and you get a rental, you'll be acting dumb as hell in that car.
Yup.
You know what I'm saying? Dogging that rental out. That's what that was a term that we used to use about it. Like, oh yeah, man, yeah, it's just a rental. So, oh, okay, so you dogged that rental out. I was like, yeah, I dogged out that rental. It just means that you just did the most, treated it like junk. Barely hit the brakes when you went over speed bumps and dips and stuff. You didn't do nothing, you know what I'm saying? You didn't do any of these precautionary measures. You just treated it like crap. Not because it's going to make it to where you actually get to keep the car. No. The same way as these white folks now, the envious one.
Yeah, they know that, I mean, you know that you got to get that rental back.
They know they got to give this rental back.
Con.
But what are they doing right now? Dogging the hell out of it, man. I'm talking about they just slamming the brakes, slamming the gas. You know what I'm saying? At every stop and go. You know what I'm saying? Turning at 45 miles per hour. Tires is going bald. They just doing everything. That's them throwing in all these doctrines and messing up the awakening and ignoring and not acknowledging us. But you know what the main reason why though is, right? It just gives them power is because we are falling for it.
Con. That's that Judith 5, man.
The more and more of us that ain't that wakes up out of it, snaps out of it, the worse the judgments gets on these people.
Con.
And the worse the judgment gets on these people, the closer and closer it gives them, it's going to move them to have an incentive to release us.
Con.
Like what he did in Egypt.
Yeah.
We
Con.
know,
That's what I was about to say.
right? We know how God works. You can pretty much diagnose our times based off of the scriptures that was laid out in the Torah. You can find it all there. You're like, it's all there, right there. So let's check out this First Kings though. He says at 47, now at
Middle of 47.
and he said, if they saying we have sinned and have done wickedly and trespassed. Now at 48.
And so return unto you with all their heart and with all their soul in the land of their enemies, which led them away captive, and pray unto you towards their land, which you gave unto their fathers, the city which thou hast chosen, and the house which I have built for your name. Then hear you their prayer and their supplication in
So,
heaven.
so they had to go through a certain process, a certain requirement for their prayer to be heard. It's a certain requirement for our prayer to be heard. This is talking about us in the last days. This is talking about us after we've been scattered far and near. Because you go at, I'll read verse 46 just real quick. He said, and finally, when they shall have sinned against thee, for there is no man that sins not, and thou art angry with them, and hast delivered them to their enemies, that they be carried away prisoners unto the land of their enemies, whether far or near. And then it says, yet if they turn again or remember themselves. So this is definitely talking about and applies to us today. But we have to first turn again turn again in our minds in the lands of our captivity and return and pray unto the land that we are actually supposed to be going to, not sit here and think that we're the original inhabitants of this land, not sitting around here saying that we're actually Egyptians, so we have Egypt in mind when we praying and shit. I mean, and stuff. You get what I'm saying? Like our people, as a people group, not just the leadership, but the people too, the population, the regular inhabitants, has to get on this page. And the envious one knows this, which is the definite reason why he has actually set up and orchestrated all
these tears.
these BS doctrines, man, and these BS ideologies and fake identities.
Yeah, because in the beginning, they knew who we was. You know what I mean? That's why, you know what I mean, there's movies and stuff letting you know about the Hebrews, the black people and the Hebrew slaves, you know, working like a Hebrew slave and things like that, man. They knew that, okay, we're going to have to start snuffing that under the rug because these dudes are starting to pay attention to what we're saying.
That's right. That's right. But they
So we
know.
got to come up with these doctrines to combat the stuff that we pulled out to try to trap them again.
That's right. But they know that as long as we fall for it, though,
Come on.
around falling for it, they can get away with it. They're getting away with it. They're like, okay, these dudes is falling for it. So, I'm gonna take some down with me, type of mentality.
Yeah.
That is the reason why the Most High God has the angels coming.
Come on.
So when we go back right here to let's finish this real quick at 48.
49. It says, then hear you their prayer and their supplication in heaven, your dwelling place, and maintain their cause, and forgive your people that have sinned against you and all their transgressions, wherein they have transgressed against you, and give compassion before them who carried them captives, that they may have compassion on them. For they, what? All right, for they be your people and your inheritance, which you brought forth out of Egypt from the midst of the furnace of iron. See, it is. See that furnace of iron?
Yep. And you see, right? You know what I'm saying? You got to go through it. We have to. Our people has to go through the furnace of fire, and we have to. We have to. You know what I'm saying? We have to burn these people though. Some of these people they got to be going through and be destroyed throughout this furnace, so the gold can actually stand out. Because some of the folks, some of these brothers is going to come out. Some of these people that is, you know what I'm saying, believing in that doctrine and all that stuff, believing in these false doctrines, they're going to come out as Israelites on the other side of this. But don't think that that process is going to happen without that fire.
Con.
It ain't going to happen without that fire.
That's right.
It's going to take the angels to bind them or to catch them up, prove, you know what I'm saying? In other words, debunk them, mess up that whole little flow they have,
Con.
bind them and burn them, destroy that whole doctrine. That's what it's for. Why? Because it's actually a distraction. That's how you do it. Distract them. Christ showed us that. All right, now let's go back. So it says, then shall the just men shine as bright as the sun in the kingdom of their Father. What? Then shall the just men shine as bright as the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Whosoever has ears to hear, let him hear. So after the destroying of the doctrines, after the destruction of these tares, in other words, these fake identities, because that's what a tear does. It takes on the identity, right, of wheat. So then when you look up, somebody has to destroy the impersonators. And I'm not talking about, you know, like double agents, even though that's what they really are. But it's their doctrine that has to be actually destroyed. Because they can come out with 50 more agents tomorrow. But if you destroy the doctrine, no matter how many they come out with, it'll never take hold again. But the doctrines got to be destroyed. Why? Because like Christ said, they're distractions. So you guys catch that, man. So always make sure that when you have the opportunity to be able to destroy one of those doctrines out there, whether you're online or not, doesn't matter. That's your calling.
Con.
You know who you are. You one of the angels because you've been presented with the opportunity to bind up a tear and cast it into the furnace of fire.
Con.
Real talk, man. This is the duty. This is what actually sets in the kingdom of God. It says, then shall the just men shine as bright as the sun. Where? In the kingdom of what? Of their Father. Not in the kingdom of the devil.
Con.
In the kingdom of their Father. Actually fulfilling that First Kings 8 and 47 all the way down to, what did we read down to 52?
Con.
51, 8,
51. Yeah.
7, 1. That's just, we got to get rid of the distractions. So yeah, man. With that being said, that was the message for today, man. That was a good word.
Con.
We got to know about this, man. Christ is the instructor for the last days. Christ is the instructor for when the tables is about to turn.
That's right. That's that Alpha and Omega, man. He's the beginning and the end.
That's right. Con. So with that being said, man, I don't really have no beats to play, but I hope that this message, you know what I'm saying, sinks in and wakes our people up, man. Because I'm gonna have to finish it out with that Romans 13 and 11. Can you get that?
Con. Hard time to wake up out your sleep.
Oh yeah? Is that what I was about to say?
Con.
Uh-oh, uh-oh.
And that knowing the time that now it is high time to wake out of sleep.
High time. Talking about straight obvious. It's obvious that the world is ending, man.
For now is our salvation nearer than when we believed.
Man, our salvation is nearer than when we believed, man. We thought that we was gonna have to die to be saved. No, man. It's while you're alive.
Con. The night is far spent.
You
The
are no
day.
longer asleep.
Con. The day is at hand.
Now it's time for us to get that kingdom. Shine, shine what? Shine bright as the sun.
Con. Get them law, statutes, commandments down, man.
Come on now.
Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness.
Cast off the works of darkness. What will that be? Bullshit identities,
Con.
sinful lifestyle.
And let us put on the armor of light.
Oh, that means get these law, statutes, and commandments instituted into your personal activities.
That's right. Let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness, not in chambering and wantingness, not in strife and envy.
In other words, not hanging out like regular, doing that, what I'm saying, excuse my language, but this is the best way I'm gonna have to be able to get my message across. Not just being on that nigga shit.
Con.
You know what I'm saying? Not on that, I'm a real nigga. Well, rise above that is what it's saying. Cause that ain't it. You need to be a righteous Israelite, not a real nigga.
But put you on the master, Yahushai, the anointed one.
That means
And,
get them law, statutes, and commandments, get the garment, learn of Christ.
and make not provision for the flesh to
And
fulfill the lust thereof.
and get out there and wake your people up. And don't be out there just saying, "Oh, I'm keeping the Sabbath, so I'm gonna sleep and hang out all day at the house." You just made provisions for the flesh. Then you just now did your prep just for you on the Shabbat.
Con.
You ain't prepping for you. You ain't doing your spiritual. You ain't working on the spirit by actually fixing your other people's mind, not just yours. Come on now. Oh, what's going on there, Kev Killian? Kev Mack.
What's going on, Kev?
Shalom, bro.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Good seeing y'all there, man. Got Nasty the Goon. We got Buki Nation. We got
Brown. We got
Brown.
Sour Twist.
Sour Twix in the house. He said,
Sour Twist was rolling at the Rama Lama Ding Dong. Jeans Das. Hebrew Treasures. A.R. Mackey.
Shalom, y'all, man. Shabbat shalom, man.
Shabbat shalom.
Everybody else is tuned in to One Nation Set Apart. You know what I'm saying? We about to get up out of here. We know that time is short. It's 11:59, man.
Con,
We about to get up out of here, man. This last stretch. Oh man, hey man, we love you too, man. Kev Matt. He said,
love you, brother, man.
yeah, man, we was chilling, man. You know what I'm saying? We actually, you know what I'm saying, had a little bit of technical difficulties with the audio and all that stuff when because my computer broke. But this was cool still. You know what I mean? So I'm probably try to go around do some more on the phone. It's not really my style, but I guess you know what I'm saying we can just do some reads until I get another one. Until then, all praises to the Most High God, man, because the word is what we supposed to be living off of, anyways.
Con,
You know, it's not for man to live off of bread alone. That includes computers.
but every word of the Most High.
Yeah, man. So we got to read all of this. We got to read all of it, because Christ is, you know what I'm saying, like we just read, he just not let us know about what's going on right now in the last days, but what job needs to be done. Because I already know that we got people out there on the streets waking the people up, and that's, you know what I'm saying, that's where the children of the kingdom is being gathered.
That's
Seeds,
right.
good field. I mean, falling amongst good ground and all that. Okay, cool. I'm getting that. But what about the people that's messing up the doctrine, messing up our awakening? What did Christ say about that? We know now.
Con,
They're distracting us. They're here to distract you. But somebody has to go and destroy it.
that's right.
Once they destroy all these BS doctrines, we'll be able to leave here.
Con,
But if we sit back and let that weed grow into a mega weed in the yard, it's gonna be harder and harder to rip up.
that's right.
So you got to get it while, you know what I'm saying, you got to catch it when you notice it, man. Every time too. That's how you do weeds.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing is, these weeds, they're around this harvest time. You know what I mean? So what we got to do is, man, we got to separate the wheat from the tares. You know what I
Right.
mean? The tares is being binded up and cast into this fire now.
Right. That's right.
Because they got their doctrines down. You know what I mean? It's grown. Now it's time to destroy it.
Yep. Yep. It's grown. Now you got to destroy it. Don't sit back and ignore it when you see that, man. It's
Khan,
Cow halal harbah, man.
Kahala Haba,
All praises to the heavenly
Bashem Yahshua Mashiach.
shalom. Yes, Khan. Bahasham Yao Shah Hamashiach. Not Onias.
Khan,
Well, with that being said, man, I really want to play a beat, but man, y'all, much love, my people. We'll see y'all out there in the streets. Until then, we out.
Maranatha.
Maranatha.